Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Bommer number LB4381-400-638 4x4 single acting spring hinge, full mortise, residential weight, lube bearing, steel base, satin, brass, blackened. So this is a single acting spring hinge, is what all of that really equates to. Let's dissect the part number. LB stands for the fact that this is a maintenance-free concealed bearing sort of construction for a hinge from Bommer. The 4381 is a reference to the fact that this hinge is made for Stanley door system products. So the reference to Stanley door products is actually a reference to the important dimensional details about this hinge, meaning one leaf is going to have this 5/8 radius, the other leaf will have a square corner, and the specific location of the screw holes identifies it as being compatible with Stanley door products. Now, to ensure that, you're going to want to review the link to the template below this video. It indeed shows everything specific to this exact hinge. The only difference between that template and this hinge is the fact that this is in a finished 638 color, which we'll go over in a minute. So if there's any question, review the template compared against what you have, your existing preparation, and then proceed accordingly. Now, there is, continuing on further with the part number, that 4381 is the dimensional properties. The 400 specifically means that it is 4 inches tall and 4 inches wide. The height comes first on hinges like this, so you would properly say 4 inch tall, then 4 inch wide. 638 is a reference to the fact that it is satin brass, blackened, or antique, some people, but it's blackened satin brass, and that it is a steel base hinge. 638 means both of those facts at the same time. This is a full mortise hinge, as you can see from the swag on the hinge leaves. But the leaves are intended to be mortised flush to the edge of the door and frame when the door is closed. It is also a leaf thickness, has a leaf thickness of 96,000ths of an inch, which is typical for residential applications. Now this is a spring hinge, and what that means is the obvious. It is intended to close your door when it's open. This hinge is going to come with a tension rod and then a tension pin, which is that silver pin there at the bottom. Now how this works is that you install the hinge such that the tension collar is towards the top of the door. You insert the tension rod into one of the holes, and then you turn the tension collar clockwise. And as I do that, you can see that I reveal new additional holes. And it's those new additional holes where you insert the tension pin. Up to 3 holes is what Bommer recommends in terms of setting spring tension. Now, the quantity of the, and by the way, there's instructions below this video as well as a link, and if your hinge came in a box, they're likely printed on the back of the box as well. Okay. There are guidelines below this video as well in terms of the quantity of spring hinges. If you're dealing with an 85-pound door, up to 3 foot by 7 foot, 2 spring hinges, they say, and something in the range of 110 pounds, 3 spring hinges. Now, I'm a fan of all spring hinges, even though you can mix a spring hinge with a standard hinge because the axis of pivoting is compliant with a standard 4x4 butt hinge. But you'll find, at least I have found, a greater amount of success in controlling the door to get it not only self-closing, but also latching when you've got more spring hinges doing the job. I liken spring hinges to a tugboat. They don't go very fast, but they can pull a lot of weight. And getting that weight pulled is the job that is analogous to me to having all spring hinges whenever possible, especially if you're borderline in terms of where you are in terms of door weight. A door that you're putting a spring hinge on is possibly fire rated. Residential, obviously, you might be looking at a door between a garage and a home that has to be self-closing, but it also has to be equally self-latching. The way that the energy is stored in a spring, well, you can open up the door and that sets tension on the spring and it'll start to move and close the door surely. But remember, you're overcoming all the air pressure then the resistance of the latch bolt hitting the strike plate, that door needs to not only close but latch. And you've got to have enough stored energy in the spring to accomplish both of those. And when you're underpowered in the spring tension, the option is to set the spring tension higher, running the risk of damaging or breaking the hinge, and it's not repairable. Just to get it moving fast enough so that there's enough inertia to get it to close. Sometimes the door will actually slam and then even not latch because it's being slammed and will bounce back open sometimes. More spring hinges equal a greater amount of success when you want to control a door, because controlling the door is really what the point of self-closing actually is. Available in several different finishes. Very attractive 638, satin bronze blackened. And the last thing I'd like to show you is going to be the Bommer logo. It says right above, Made in USA. A fact that Bommer is quite proud of, as am I to represent them. Screws are included, machine screws and wood screws. If you have any questions on the Bommer number LB4381-400-638, single acting spring hinge, or any other Bommer product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.